It turns out that Kiyosaki is predicting a crypto crash, so massive that it's going to destroy dozens of projects and potentially cause a historic decline in the price of Bitcoin. On June 19th, Kiyosaki tweeted, "Biggest bubble in world history getting bigger. The biggest crash in world history is coming. Buying more gold and silver. Waiting for Bitcoin to drop to 24K. Crashes are the best time to get rich." This comes as a shock to many because earlier this year, Kiyosaki had been pretty bullish about crypto. The man had even predicted in April that the price of Bitcoin would surge to $1.2 million in 5 years. Noting the increased money printing by the government, excessive stimulus, and the devaluation of the US dollar would give Bitcoin a golden ticket. So why would Kiyosaki suddenly shift his stance on Bitcoin on the crypto game? Why is he so confident that the Bitcoin will crash to 24,000 soon? But before we dive in, this is not a financial advice. We are not responsible for any losses or profits you make after watching this video. The first thing you have to understand about Kiyosaki's bubble crash prediction is how his mind works. You see, Kiyosaki has a very unorthodox way of looking at the market, and you can tell by some of the polarizing and at times entertaining tweets he posts. Take for example the tweet he wrote on June 17th. "What did school teach you about money? I don't know about you, but for me, I learned nothing about money in school. That is why I learned about money from my rich dad, not my poor dad." Kiyosaki is basically taking a shot at the conventional system and the way we learn how money works. With a radical mindset like this, he is bound to be very critical of any financial structures, and he doesn't give a hoot whether it's centralized or decentralized. But then again, Kiyosaki has mentioned that the crash would have a silver lining as he writes, "Crashes are the best time to get rich." But what does he mean by this? Well, we have to look at Kiyosaki's previous comments about Bitcoin and the federal government to understand just what he's talking about. On May 30th, he tweeted, "Bitcoin crashing. Great news. When the price hits $27,000, I may start buying again. A lot will depend upon the global macro environment. Remember, the problem is not gold, silver, or Bitcoin. Problems are the incompetent government, Fed, and Wall Street. Remember, gold was $300 in 2000. And in November 2020, he also tweeted this, "Bitcoin boom beating gold and silver." What does that mean? It means you better buy as much as you can now. The train is moving. Dollar dying. Silver is still affordable for everyone. As the dollar crashes, what counts is not price, but how many coins of gold, silver, or Bitcoin you own. Okay, it might seem like Kiyosaki's prediction on crypto are all over the place, but if you pay close attention to what he's talking about, you will see that there's a consistent theme. The issue is in the currency. It's the government. You see, the predicted crypto crash is causing many investors to pull out. It's a classic case of getting out while the going is still good. But for Kiyosaki, investing in Bitcoin couldn't come at a more perfect time. He is encouraging anyone and everyone to invest now. According to Kiyosaki, it's not currencies like gold, silver, and Bitcoin that are the issue. It's the federal government response to them. Heck, it's how they handle money altogether. In previous years, Kiyosaki has talked about how the United States dollar has been weakened by irrational financial decisions made by the federal government. He wants that people should purchase more gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Why? Because of the way the world is going, there won't be a reason to print money in the near future. Say goodbye to that system. Kiyosaki also believes that investments in digital currencies could cut down government operational costs and printing money. It's no doubt expensive to print money in circulation for more than 300 million Americans. Once the government accepts this, then cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin will rise in value again. That's why he thinks this crash is the perfect time to scale up your investments in the coin. Is this insane? Or could there be a method to Kiyosaki's madness? You see, there's no denying that the value of US dollars took some serious hits during the COVID-19 pandemic. The economy is still on shaky legs. and millions of people have lost their jobs and their livelihood. Kiyosaki is urging people to invest in cryptocurrency because it could be a ticket to a better life. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin have even gained approval from government and other financial institutions around the world as a feasible payment method. So, anyone who's willing to purchase Bitcoin during this massive crash could probably reap the fruits of their investments 6 to 7 years in the future. Kiyosaki has even gone on record to say that he will buy Bitcoin once the price falls to 24,000. Kiyosaki likens this crypto crash to the classic case of the investor versus the businessman. Something that he has discussed numerous times is his best-selling book. The investor is someone who sees potential in something and banks on it, even while it's depreciating. He is looking at the future and being patient. Then we have the business, a person that's in it for a quick buck. Someone who rarely invests in something they mature over time. That is why we are seeing a lot of businessmen jumping ship from Bitcoin because its value is plummeting. Turns out that they were only in it for the quick cash. As a self-proclaimed real investor, Kiyosaki urges Bitcoin traders who are on the edge to remain patient and positive. It's quite common for a currency to experience ups and downs as it attempts to establish itself. The US dollar zone history hasn't been too rosy. From the Great Depression to the housing crash, it had its fair share of bumps along the way. In fact, in a number of the interviews, Kiyosaki has even admitted that the main reason for his intention to purchase Bitcoin in large amounts right now is to rescue the dying dollar. His objective is not to make huge profits now, but to reap the fruits once the dollar finally loses ground. While Kiyosaki moves are quite bold and to some extent admirable, we have to remember that the dollar is one of the strongest currencies in the world. Yes, it might be losing its value, but it is still very resilient and supported by the federal government, one of the strongest financial institutions in the world. However, Kiyosaki is still confident that despite the ongoing crypto crash, the Bitcoin business will bounce back in the future. His comments come amidst rumor that the federal government actually played a hand in taking Bitcoin's value because they feared the dollar was facing tough competition. So what if Kiyosaki's bullish prediction on Bitcoin don't come to pass and Bitcoin continues to tank even further? Well, he reiterates that those who invest now during the crash will easily cut their losses if it doesn't work out. But this is not the first time that Kiyosaki has been very vocal about an impending crypto crash and Bitcoin. In 2017, he tried to purchase the coin but lost interest due to personal reasons. However, his interest picked once more when the coronavirus pandemic struck. As the pandemic ravaged financial institutions and governments around the world, he saw the vision of a stabilized financial market through Bitcoin. At the height of the pandemic, several governments were rushing to print more money to cushion and sustain their economies during the lockdown. This flooding of cash into the economy actually led to inflation and unemployment rates going through the roof, something that didn't impress Kiyosaki. At the same time, Bitcoin remained relatively stable during the pandemic. But as global economies regained their footing once more, Kiyosaki believes that federal governments and financial institutions are working behind the scenes to disrupt the anti-crypto investor Jim Rogers, to disrupt the cryptocurrency market and gain footing once more. Take, for example, the words of an anti-crypto investor, Jim Rogers, who in 2020 explicitly mentioned that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies should not get in the ways of government and financial institutions, otherwise they would face elimination from the market. According to Rogers, the only reason that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin continue to operate is that they are decentralized and therefore can run their operation from anywhere in the world. As for Kiyosaki, who supports cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, his advice to the federal government is this: stop flooding the economy with money. Not only it is disrupting global markets, but also affecting well-structured, decentralized platforms like Bitcoin. And that's making people tired. They are now looking at decentralized currencies as their way out from the harsh condition of a weakening dollar. Even if an impending crash is on its way, the question is then, will the federal government heed Kiyosaki's strong and radical comments? A few investors have lent the financial guru a listening ear, but we are hard-pressed to see whether they will act upon what he said. In the rare event that they do accept some of the proposals he has mentioned, we might just see the economy take a turn for the better. The likes of Bitcoin and gold will for sure surge in value, and decentralization might just harmonize aspects of financial security and equal investment opportunities for all. For now, we will just have to wait and see what will happen in the next couple of years. And with that being said, we have come to the end of this video. Let us know what you think about Kiyosaki's tweets on the impending crypto crash in the comment section below. We hope you have enjoyed our content. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell to stay updated on the latest crypto news.